In this video I'm going to show you how I use finger loop braids as a finishing method for tablet woven bands. In this example it has a 4-loop spiral finger loop braid at each end. In the beginning of the warp I placed a spare tablet into the shed instead of starting weaving at the very beginning. Then I turned the tablets once, placed another tablet in the shed, and the single turn is to hold them in place, stop them stacking up on each other. And then after the second tablet, another single turn, and then a third and final tablet. And then I began weaving the band as normal. And then as I got to the end of the warp, once the band was long enough, I made sure there was enough length left on the warp for a piece that was about the same length as the one at the beginning of the band. And when I was weaving this, I allowed an extra centimetre of length for the band itself, because where the warp ends get bunched together at the end, it loses about a centimetre in total over the two of them. I'm going to show you how I did this braid using one of the many sample bands from the big sample bag. This band is the draft Branches, which is one of the free drafts that you can find up on my blog. I divided the warp ends into 4 groups. Now these are fairly rough divisions. If I sat and counted, I could probably make them a bit more even. And I tied an overhand knot at the end of each of these. And again, I haven't trimmed off or done this particularly tidily. I'm just using it as a demonstration piece at the moment. I've got 4 groups here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The first and third ones are going to go onto my left hand. The first one goes onto my index finger, third one goes onto my middle finger. And then for the other 2, the fourth one goes onto the index finger of my right hand, and the second one goes onto the middle finger of my right hand. Okay, there we go. Now, in a finger loop braid, we're going to be interlacing these threads by placing them onto a finger and then bringing the loop that's already on that finger either over the one we've just put on there or under and through the one we just put on there. In this variation I'm going to show you the pulling it over method, because that's how I was taught. So I'm going to take the loop from the middle finger on my right hand and place it over my left index finger. And with that finger from my right hand, I'm taking the loop that was already there, pulling it off and over the one I've just put on, and then pull all the loops to either side to tighten up the cord that we're making. Next, I'm going to take the index finger of my left hand and place the loop on that onto the middle finger of my left hand. Then lift that loop off and over. And that's pretty much it. So again, I'm going to take middle finger of right hand, index finger of left hand, pull it off, over, tighten up, index finger of right hand, middle finger of left hand, off and over. It is a lot faster to actually do this than it is to describe it. Now, if you find that you're getting a bit lost and you're not sure which pair of fingers to swap, if you look at the braid in front of you, you see in the middle there I've got the loop from this finger index finger on the right hand, sorry, middle finger on the left hand. Those are crossing at the bottom of the braid, so that means we need to do middle finger on the right hand, index finger on the left hand as our next ones. And as you practice this, you will gain muscle memory, and you'll get to a point where you can do this fairly quickly. And I find the length of my arms is only really the limiting factor for this, because I have to pull the loops to the side each time to tighten up the braid. There we go. It's coming along. And I will eventually get to a point where I can't do this anymore because the loops are too short. And if you're not careful, the braid will get a lot tighter as the loops get shorter, because it is easier to pull it tight at that point. So it's good to keep an eye on how tight the links of the threads are, so you can try and keep it fairly uniform along the length. Now I've still got a fair bit left on this, but I want enough to be able to tie an overhand knot. So I'll just put index finger onto index finger, middle finger onto middle finger, and then put them all onto my middle finger. I've got them as a single group now. And take my finger out and tie a simple overhand knot. At this point, I'll tighten that up. You can cut off these knots, or you could undo the knots that you had for a longer fringe at the end. And we've got a nice round braid there, which is the same as this one, only quite a lot bigger. This is a really nice way to finish off a band and tidies up any loose threads that you've got. This band is not going to be able to unravel at all. So it's a great one to use if you want to put ties onto the end of the band, or you're worried about it unraveling. So it would be useful for something like garters, or in this case a headband, or even just a fun tassel or cord on the end of a belt. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you, and happy weaving!